The Protestant Reformation, where the religious world turned upside down faster than you can say 95 Theses. Let's embark on a journey through the tumultuous times of religious upheaval, where pious folks decided they had enough of the Pope shenanigans and decided to start their own theological party. So picture this. It's the 16th century, and here in Europe, the Middle Ages sucked. There's a reason why they call it the Dark Ages in Europe. For most of the people, life was a personal version of hell, and there was no way out because, feudalism. If you're at the bottom, you stay at the bottom, and the bottom was bad. The only hope was being a good Catholic and earning yourself eternal paradise in heaven. While all this is going on, the Catholic Church is strutting around like the king of the castle, with the Pope sitting pretty in his golden throne, while the peasants are busy coughing up their hard-earned coin for forgiveness of sins and other spiritual goodies. Yeah, you heard that right. The Pope needed money to build a fancy church, so he started selling one-way tickets out of purgatory non-stop to heaven. If you didn't know, purgatory is like a D&D waiting room. It's musty and smelly, and it takes forever to get out. These indulgences, as they were called, were not cheap. Peasants had to give up what would be a year of wages for many of the people. The church was also selling church offices, and since those offices brought wealth, people were buying multiple offices and neglecting some of them because of the general rule that you can't be in two places at the same time. But wait, who's this? It's our old pal Martin Luther, a humble German monk with a penchant for nailing things to doors, namely his 95 Theses. Because why argue theology over the nice cup of tea when you can make a dramatic statement by hammering your grievances onto a piece of wood on Halloween? Luther hated indulgences, didn't think God liked the idea that a pope would claim to be better than everyone else, thought the Bible was written for a reason and that you can find all the truth within it. And he thought that salvation was achieved through faith alone. You don't have to do any good deeds, just be a believer. Now, the Catholic Church wasn't exactly thrilled about Luther's little stunt, but instead of inviting him over for a friendly chat, they invited him to a diet of worms. No cap, that's what it was called. Diet of worms. Yummy. When Luther decided not to recant, the church decided to excommunicate him faster than you can say heretic. And thus, the spark of the Reformation was lit, igniting a firestorm of religious debate, pamphlet wars, and some seriously catchy hymns. Catholics became Lutherans, and Catholics that stayed Catholic threw a hissy fit. Soon enough, Luther's ideas caught on like wildfire. Suddenly, everyone and their dog was questioning the Pope's authority and demanding a religious overhaul. It's like the world's biggest game of telephone, except instead of whispering secrets, they're shouting "Down with the Pope" at the top of their lungs. And Luther wasn't the only player in this religious revolution. Along came John Calvin and his predestination spiel and his knack for turning Geneva into a religious police state faster than you can say divine intervention. Because who needs free will when you can just blame everything on God's master plan? And let's not forget the man, the myth, the legend, King Henry VIII, everyone's favorite serial spouse. Henry wanted a son, got a daughter, and back then everyone blamed mommy when a girl was born. And when the Pope refused to annul his marriage so he can hook up with a younger lady, Henry did what any self-respecting monarch would do. He started his own church, complete with blackjack and an unhealthy obsession with beheading his wives. So there you have it, folks, the Protestant Reformation nutshelled, where religious leaders decided they'd had enough of the Pope's monopoly on salvation and decided to start their own spiritual franchises. Because when it comes to faith, why settle for one flavor when you can have a whole smorgasbord of theological options? Thanks for stopping by Nutshelled History. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Who is your favorite Protestant? Comment down below and let us know.